The rejig of the schedule for the Test series between Australia and India has been completed, with Adelaide confirmed as the venue for the first Test. The first Test was originally scheduled to begin in Brisbane on December 4th, but was postponed following the tragic passing of Phil Hughes, whose funeral is slated for Wednesday. Adelaide was Hughes' adopted home since he shifted from New South Wales to South Australia, and the Test series will now begin there. Brisbane will host the second Test. The third Test, the Boxing Day Test in Melbourne, will start on schedule, but the final Test in Sydney is to be pushed back by 3 days. The Indians, of course, chose not to leave Adelaide while the discussions between Cricket Australia and the BCCI were going on. They chose to stay on in Adelaide, which of course makes sense now that the first Test will be played in Adelaide, and there's one more game, thankfully, two-day game of course, but there is one more tour game for the Indians that's been lined up now, which is fortunate because there was one more tour game supposed to start last Friday, which obviously got cancelled in the wake of the Phil Hughes incident. But the Indians will play one more tour game, and that's good news for them. However, what we don't know yet is with the first Test being pushed back, it doesn't matter whether it's Adelaide or Brisbane, we don't know yet whether MS Dhoni will come in now in time for that first Test, whether Virat Kohli will continue to lead the team as he was expected to for the first Test if it had gone on schedule, as well as some other rejigs within the team, whether Naman Ojha will now come back because he was staying on with that team only for the first Test in MS Dhoni's absence as backup keeper to Ridhiman Saha. Now if MS Dhoni comes back, what happens? So there are those questions to be answered from the Indian point of view, but for the moment that's the update from the Indian camp. The tragedy has deeply shaken the world cricket community, particularly in Australia where the sport is considered the national game. Flags have flown at half-mast and bats have been left outside front doors as a mark of respect for Phil Hughes.